Folks, welcome to the Jake Feinberg Show. What an honor it is to connect with Classic Cat. Comment on one of my posts the other day. Turns out there's a lot of regional connections and spiritual connections. Brian Long, welcome to the Jake Feinberg Show.
Yo, what up? Thanks for having me.
Can you talk a little bit about when your band comes back, what your intentions are for playing your music?
So when our band comes back...
and what's the name of the band?
So I play with this group called Chirp. We're based out of Southeast Michigan. And our intentions when we come back are to provide music to people who really, really need it right now and try to get it out to as many people as we can. Going to be doing a lot of shows, hopefully a lot more touring, and just overall like connecting with cool-ass people.
Right, connection is absolutely key in this time. It's always important. When did you feel like you found your purpose in life, being a musician?
So I was fortunate enough to have an incredible music teacher, Jed Fritzmeyer, out of Chelsea, Michigan. And you know, I didn't do well in school, at all. I was diagnosed ADD, all these things, whatever. But when I started playing upright bass, I really found like an incredible way to like cope with sensory overlap issues that I've had. And yeah, so
can you go a little deeper on that?
So yeah, I'd say
I mean, the rhythm, the bowing or the bass fiddle helped you with sensory overload.
Yeah, absolutely. Like definitely, I felt like, you know, when I'd play, I'd be able to like see certain shapes and patterns, like color tones in my head. And like, I felt like I always felt that like in oversensitizing situations beforehand. So to be able to find an outlet to like be able to control that was really, really powerful for me. It made me feel like these things I was told were disabilities and things that were like, you know, would make me like fail in life. I felt like I was able to take those and like channel them in a constructive way. So music's like a really, really, really important thing for me, and I feel like a lot of others too. And I feel like there's so many people who deal with issues like that, and a lot of the coolest people I meet, you know, express similar things and are musicians, artists, or just cool people in general. It doesn't matter what you're doing, you know, as far as like, as long as you can take that stuff and channel it in a way that you feel like is productive and shows love in some aspect, I think it's like really cool.
I need you to talk about how you sitting in with Adam McDougall and Mark Levy and the Everyone Orchestra. How did that come to be?
So the group I played with, Chirp, we were playing at this awesome venue in Peoria, Illinois called Kenny's, and that's like about 30 miles away from Chillicothe, where summer camp is thrown. And we were playing a show there, and one of the owners of Summer Camp Festival was actually attending the show. And I had the pleasure of meeting him. He bought me a drink. He didn't tell me what it was. I took one sip of it. I was able to tell him exactly what it was. We hit it off. It was super cool. And I was expressing my interest of going to summer camp that year because it's like the first festival I went to that I was like, whoa, this is pretty cool stuff.
Right.
And you know, we were just talking. I mentioned wanting to go. He's like, I'll get you in for free. He's like, I just need you to do some work for me. I was like, well, what do you need me to do? He's like, I need you to play with Everyone Orchestra the last day. I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, absolutely, I could do that. So I had a gig the night before, north of Traverse City, Michigan, which is right around here, and had to go to Peoria, Illinois, which is all the way down there. Michigan people do this. And yeah, so it was about an 8-hour drive right after that gig to get there. Hung with my girlfriend Danielle, which I'm so lucky to have.
Bless her.
Yeah, we just kicked it there for a while until I had to go on up, and I filled in on the last couple tunes with Everyone Orchestra. I had to take over for Alana from STS9.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to remember his name. The guitar player from Aggie was also playing there, and Sasquatch.
Oh, I love him, man.
Yeah.
Jared Selner, badass.
So many cool cats. It was unreal. And then from there, I played with those two dudes, and then Circles ended up closing the whole festival that night. It was so great. They're such an incredible group. And then I got to meet John Lee Shannon, who's a super rad dude. And
that was the first time you ever met John Lee?
that was the first time I ever met him.
Wow.
So I was talking with him, and I mentioned I'm from a small town in Michigan. He's like, oh, I'm from a small town too. I was like, well, where are you from? He's like, oh, you've never heard of it before. I was like, what is it? And he mentioned my hometown. And I was like, no way, get out of here. I was like, I'm from there. He's like, no, you're not. No one's from there. So we were able to connect over that. So that was pretty cool,
oh, man.
pretty wild.
What a great elder to have from your hometown.
Yeah,
man.
and honestly, like, there's not a lot of people that live out there. So
there's nobody like John Lee Shannon.
He's a great human. What a rad dude. Incredible human.
Where do you feel like you need to grow the most as a person or a player?
Honestly, composition.
You like original tunes?
So our group that I play with, Jay Friedland, like, he writes such incredible music, and I've been trying to get more inspired to like come up with my own, full music. A lot of times I just try to play bass for people that need, a bass player, and that's been super awesome. I've been trying to compose a little bit more, and as far as being a person, honestly, organization. And I think if I work on my organization, as silly as it sounds, I'm all over the place. But through daily practice, I've been trying to work on be more organized, just to make
me too. Well, it's a dying. It can atrophy really quick if you're not careful.
Absolutely. So,
and I guess that's also like a choice too in some ways. Like you can't. These are like the small things.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they're a little more onerous. So. Growing up, did you learn music by ear before you learned it to read it?
So I was fortunate enough to pick up upright bass in 5th grade. And
someone just gave you a bass fiddle?
Well, our music program at Chelsea High School was really, really good. And through this company, my parents were able to rent an upright bass for me.
How long did it take you to tune it? It was that's amazing. In 5th grade, you had an upright bass.
So Jed Fritzmeyer was, he was an upright bass player himself, our music director. He actually filled in on a couple gigs with Dizzy Gillespie. He was a pretty
nasty dude.
Yeah, pretty incredible. Still is.
I'm glad he's still with us. I'll have to.
Oh my gosh, he's such an incredible human.
Yeah, dig.
So I was fortunate enough to have a upright bass. In my household that, we rented through Shar Music, cool program out there. And, I wasn't very good at reading music in the beginning. I would honestly just mess around, and then through time, I figured out, I could
get through it, yeah.
Yeah, I could listen to it. It was faster for me to listen to it by ear than to actually read music. And then over time, I realized it was important to once I started taking it a little bit more seriously, I started to really work on reading music, and that improved a ton. It helped a ton with that. But in 8th grade, I got a bass guitar, and I've always loved older, a lot of older music, a lot of older rock and stuff that my dad would play, and then old funk, Tower Power.
Mm-hmm. David Garibaldi.
Yeah. So
Rocco, Rocco Presti.
Well, Rocco Presti is such a cool
dude.